What would you do if you were at a signing that was taking 4 hours to complete? Would you ask to be reassigned, or would you just stick around to see if you can get it done? This is something that actually happened to me. I went to a closing personally, and it took 4 hours for us to complete that signing. But before I share with you my experience, what happened to me, I want you to go into the comments and tell us if that's something that's happened to you before. I know this has to have happened to someone else besides just me. It's impossible that with so many people out there, I'm the only one that stayed 4 hours at a closing. That would mind boggle me. That would be crazy if I'm the only one that's happened to. So if that's happened to you, go in the comments and just share your experience with us and what happened and what you did and how you resolved that situation. If it benefited you, if it hurt you in a way, yeah. So share with us in the comments. So basically, what happened in this scenario is I was called to go to a closing and printed all the documents and everything. I show up to the closing location at an attorney's office, and when I get there, I hear that the signers are late. Signers were like half an hour late or something like that. They were coming in from, so this at the time is when I lived in New Jersey. This the signers were coming in from the city, and if you know anything about city traffic, it's wild. It takes you a while to get out of there. So they were coming from the city, and they were going to be late. And then the location I was at didn't help either because it was hard to find parking. So that kind of sucked too. And then when they finally get there and we're going over the numbers and everything, they look at one of the figures and they're like, "Hey, this is not what I agreed to. This is wrong. This was supposed to be. Was supposed to have been fixed." And then I'm just like, "Oh, great. Now the figures are wrong, and they're already half an hour late. It was more than that by that time. They were already late. The figures are wrong." So I reach out to title and I'm like, "Hey, look, signers just got here, and and this is wrong with the documents. They didn't agree to these numbers, and apparently they told the lender about this, and this was supposed to be have been fixed." And then title never heard anything about this, and now we're trying to get a hold of the lender, and then the lender. It was a back and forth with the signers, title company, the attorney. Eventually, the lender's like, "Okay, we're going to have to send you guys a whole new package." And if you know anything about that, that takes forever for us to get a new package sometimes. Sometimes it's quick, but most of the times it's not. So there we go, waiting another like 45 minutes to like an hour for the lender to send us a whole new package. And the signers are clearly frustrated. Even though they were late, but whatever. But yeah, the lender kind of screwed up too. Like they were supposed to have that package ready, and they discussed this with the signers beforehand that the numbers were wrong. And then eventually we get the package. Now the good thing about that day was that I actually had um, no other closings that day. Thank God, because if I had another closing that day, I would have been in trouble. And here's how I would have handled it if I had another closing. If the signer was half an hour late, I usually allow for some delay, right? I usually allow in my schedule for some delay to happen. You can't expect everything to go perfectly at your signings. So you should always have a buffer. And if there's one thing that you take from this video is that, look, you should always schedule yourself out and give yourself a buffer. Could you make more money if you're scheduling yourself one closing after another closing after another closing after another closing? Clearly, I'm not even going to argue that fact. You could totally make a lot of money by doing that. But you can lose a lot of money by doing that too. Because if something goes wrong at a closing and you didn't allow for some leeway, the person who hired you, whether it's a signing service, whether it's an attorney, whether it's the title company, or maybe you create a relationship with a real estate agent. the person who hired you for that transaction, they're going to be really angry. To not say something else, they're going to be really angry that you didn't schedule yourself properly and allow for some leeway. So yeah, I allowed for some leeway for every transaction. But the moment that I would have heard that the lender didn't have the docs right, first thing I would have done is I would have called the title company and been like, "Hey, I have another closing at X time. I'm more than willing to come back here after that closing is done and make sure this transaction is complete. However, I do need to leave by a specific time." And I would make sure that I give them a fair amount of heads up. Like at least like if I see that this is taking a while, I'd give like I have to leave in 45 minutes type of thing, right? Like I have to go. I have another closing. It's not fair to the second closing that I show up late because the lender wasn't ready and because the signers are late. And don't say it in those exact words. That can come off a little bit abrasive. It can come off a little bit aggressive. But just give your client a heads up that that's going to happen. However, if you have the time in your schedule and you can make it work, it's so beneficial if you can stick around because it shows your clients and the person who hired you that you care, and you can use that as a marketing opportunity to them too. Like, hey, I would love it if you can make me your preferred notary. Next time you have a closing, it'd be great if you can reach out to me first. As I've proven to you, I'm willing to stick around and hang around when things get tough. And if you can show that, that's a great opportunity for you to market yourself. And that's kind of what I did in my scenario. I stuck around. Yeah, it took four closings. Four closings. It took 4 hours for the closing to be completed, but it was a great opportunity for me to show that I do care. And I'm here to stick around for the long haul. So, lessons from this video, honestly, guys, is look, schedule yourself out. Always have a buffer. And if something goes wrong at a closing, stay composed, stay professional. You don't want to look, your client is already stressed out. It's your job to make them not stressed out. Okay. You're not there just to witness signatures. You're not there just to guide the signers through documents. You're there to make sure that things run smoothly. And part of things running smoothly is you remaining composed. It's you not stressing other people out in the transaction. They are already stressed. The buyer is stressed. The attorney is stressed. The title company is stressed. You need to remain calm. No matter what happens, even if the anger is directed at you for no reason at all, you need to stay calm, you need to stay composed, and it's your job to get that job done accurately. And yeah, just like don't stress people out and use that as an opportunity to market your business. You'd be surprised how many people don't have the patience to stick around, or you'd be surprised how many people complain. Like it's nice if you stick around, but if you're going to complain about it too, it's going to hurt your business. So if yeah, just take that lesson, guys. If you can stick around and just buffer yourself so you have more time to get from one closing to the other, and just use this opportunity to ask for reviews. Use this opportunity to be requested as a preferred notary. So yeah, if you like this video, watch this next video here so you can see exactly how what you need to do to market your business and how a sales process is from marketing to the close and after sales. Did you even know there was after sales? Yeah, there's after sales. Watch this video over here.